Libras, welcome to your reading for 2022. I'm going to go ahead and pull from a few decks, and if you're new here, welcome and subscribe so you don't miss out another video. But I'm going to be pulling a few messages for 2022 for you guys. I'm excited because I am also a Libra, and I feel like, yes, we are very charming people and we always like harmony in all aspects of our lives. And we always seek connection through everything we do. I feel like if we don't have connection, then it's just, it don't feel right. It feels off, right? So that's the card that we're going to start off with. Now I'm going to pull from some tarot, and then we'll get into some oracle messages, maybe a challenge or two that you may face next year, maybe some career messages too. Let's see. Okay. Very interesting. We have here the King of Cups, Five of Wands, and Justice. Justice is our card. It's the card for Libra. So here I see with the King of Cups, somebody that is really offering their emotions to you. They're offering you a cup, a full cup. Now, it's this Five of Wands next to it that is making me feel like you've had so much inner turmoil of accepting this offer. And this offer seems to be in love. A lot of you have just kind of either shunned yourself off or become very defensive, or who knows why you did it, but you closed yourself off. Now the King of Cups here is also talking about a lot of the full moons that you're going to be experiencing next year are going to be very powerful for you. They're going to affect you especially because it's going to make you express your emotions more. Because for Libras, I feel like it is a little hard. So just notice yourself during every full moon becoming a little bit more sensitive to emotions. King of Cups is somebody that's not very 100% at ease with their emotions. They get uncomfortable. They get defensive. And there's this need for calmness and tranquility. And then this Five of Wands is telling me so many of you guys compare yourself to others sometimes, or you may compare your relationship with other people sometimes, and that's not very healthy for you. Because as we know, people glamorize their relationship, but we never get to see the trials and tribulations and obstacles and all of that stuff, right? A lot of you, I feel like, couldn't accept emotions or couldn't accept emotional bliss that was even being offered to you because your creativity was blocked. Your sacral chakra was blocked here. A lot of you were burnt out. You had no more left to give. Now, the outcome of this entire situation that you get to see play out in 2022 is justice. Finally feeling balanced. Finally feeling like things are moving along like they should be. Finally feeling like things are balanced out and swaying equally. You have harmony in all the aspects of your life that you need. And I feel like it was hard for you to juggle that in 2021. It was hard for you to just find where to put your energy when and how much of it to put where. And it made you so burnt out. And because of that, it was so hard for you to accept love from yourself and from others. Now, next year, a lot of you are going to be going into the year following a lot of your mind over your heart. So, a lot of you are going to be using calculated measures. Libras are very charming. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to use a lot of manipulation and you're going to get your way a lot here. And instead of being burnt out, you're going to find a new way to rejuvenate your energy while still getting shit done and still having energy left over. So get excited for that. Now, there's this need for a Libra to override emotions with reason and thought, because sometimes your scales can tip over a little too much and you can lose sight of your emotions and overreact or react too much. And so next year I feel like there's a lot of that kind of energy that's calming down, and this defensiveness that you had up, it's really coming down too, and your scales are balancing, and this is really good. We have a lot of legal work, contracts, and papers. So a lot of you may be moving. You may be starting a new business where you're going to be signing papers and stuff like that, permits. A lot of you will be involved in something like a marriage where you're signing marriage certificates and stuff like that. Legal things are coming into play where something that you were so, defensive of before, you go into 2022 with open arms. And it's something like maybe you were so scared to buy a new house, or maybe you were so scared to buy a new car, or so scared to pay off a debt or something. But in 2022, you really go into it and you do it. And it really alleviates this feeling of burnt outness. Now, with the tarot being done, let's go ahead and get into a love message. I'll pull from this Whispers of Love deck. Wow, this deck is really talking. It spit out so many cards, but I'm going to take these that hit the table. Okay. We got appreciate this moment. So every situation is an opportunity to grow and find love. And then we have forgiveness. And then we have like attracts like. This is so funny because these are the exact 3 cards that came up on the Patreon reading that I did. The exact 3 cards. And I did that Patreon reading this morning. That is really freaky. Exact 3 cards. Okay. You guys might want to head into Patreon to get like the detailed reading of this, but Libras, next year you really get to appreciate this moment. There's an energy, it's a very childlike energy where you heal your inner child, or possibly you may be getting pregnant, or you may be having your baby next year. And a lot of you, if you have kids that are older, they're finally moving out, or they may be moving a little bit further away from you. And you feel like this little nesting period. For a lot of you, I get that. I go more into that on Patreon and how it's actually gonna be so good for you. But that's just for some of you. A lot of you are releasing grudges and resentments and really healing things and putting things in the past. With this forgiveness card, you're making room for the new. You're making room possibly even for a new baby for some of you. Expansion and growth. You're making new room for something. For a lot of you, you're moving somewhere new, and you need to make room within yourself, and you do. And one of the biggest things you let go of is grudges and resentments, and the past shit, you just lay it down, and you learn to appreciate the moment and not live so much in the past or the future. And also a lot of you, there's a change in perspective of a whole bunch of different kinds of situations. So you get to see things differently, and that's such a good trait of a Libra. It's so natural for Libras because your scales tip and balance all the time, because you always want to see every perspective. You want to get to know every story. You want to get to see every side. And next year you get to tap into that Libra energy of yours that's so natural. And, forgiveness holds your scales down. And so you want to let that go. You're really balancing out all your scales. And then like attracts like. If you long for more love, be more loving. I highly, highly recommend you guys go to Patreon and get that reading, because I go so much more into detail over there. But like attracts like, we're going to be mirrors. And so how we treat ourselves is how we're going to be treated in our love life. So are you appreciating yourself? Are you taking some time out for yourself? Are you creating boundaries? Are you saying no when you need to? And are you, getting to know what you need? Because if you don't know, then how would you let your partner know? So we're going to become mirrors next year. I want you to actually go, and I gave this assignment on Patreon, go out and buy a mirror for yourself, or order one on Amazon or whatever, for yourself for the new year. Like, buy yourself a mirror as a gift. And every time you look in the mirror, just know that the way you look at yourself is the way that your lover will look at you. So how are you looking at yourself? It's going to be a big deal in 2021. I see a lot of makeovers. You know, maybe you're changing your style, your hair, getting rid of old clothes, getting new clothes. Maybe plastic surgery for some of you that you know, wanted to get your lips done or something. I don't know. But yeah, Libras are ruled by Venus. And so Venus is going to be very active next year, I feel like. You know, you're going to pay so much attention to the glamour, the luxury, the wealth, the money, the love, the lust, and the sex. And your skin. Venus rules the skin. So keep that in mind. Okay, the next deck I'm gonna pull from is this Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. Let's go ahead and get a oracle message for next year for Libra. Okay, so this is funny because this card is actually from the Whispers of Love Oracle deck, but somehow it got into this deck, and I feel like there's a reason. It crawled into there somehow for this reading. So practice compassion, see things from a fresh perspective. See, what were we talking about earlier? And I feel like it just came to really confirm it, and maybe that's going to be a huge priority next year, is just being a little bit more compassionate and seeing things differently, which, remember, Libra, it's your natural trait. When you get to see and understand things from every direction, it's so powerful. And that is one of Libra's greatest gifts. So you get to tap into that next year a lot. I also see here mutually beneficial venture. So there's an extraordinary connection at the forefront of your life at this moment. Utilize this relationship to benefit everyone concerned. Okay. So there's going to be a relationship next year, and it could possibly even be a relationship that is in your life right now that's going to be very beneficial. And I feel like you possibly might even be working with them, or, I don't know, buying property with them. It's something that you grow. You get together and then you grow it. And it's just mutually benefits the both of you equally. It's an equal energy exchange. For a lot of you, it could be financial. So that's exciting. I'm very excited because this is somebody you can trust. This is somebody you can move forward with this venture. The cards are saying, see things from a different perspective. Don't be so stubborn and weary and suspicious, and go through with this because it's going to be mutually beneficial, and it is a trustworthy thing. Then we have your unexplained wonder. So magical blessings and miracles are occurring in your life. All your players. Why did I say players? All your prayers are answered now. Okay, so I feel like so many of you are going to be going into this new adventure. This new type of, it could be a new business for a lot of you, or a new relationship. But you're going into this, it's new, and you go into this with a different attitude than you did in 2021. I feel like in 2021 you had a hard time trusting, and so you didn't go through with a lot of opportunities because you were so weary and untrustworthy. But in 2022, you get to really go through with a lot of these relationships, a lot of these business ventures, these ideas that you've had, because you're no longer scared or untrustworthy. There's a newfound confidence here. Do you see that swordfish? And I'm really happy that this came up because Libras do tend to struggle with confidence just because you always like to weigh the scales. So you're like, okay, but if I feel good here, then where do I feel bad? So you'll always just like to look at everything. So you're going to be tapping into a lot of that energy next year. Let's go ahead and pull from the Self-Care Oracle deck. Let's see what we're going to be focusing on the most next year when it comes to us, right? Let's see. For Libra, we have a few cards here. We have the health checkup card. Libras, you guys don't go to the doctor until it's like too late. So next year, get your stuff checked. Go, if you have a cough, go get it checked. If something is hurting, get it checked. Just get a physical done. Just go and get it done. Make sure everything's okay. Make sure you are okay. Because it's been a while. Am I right? The next two cards that I see here for you guys, Libra, is connecting with your ancestors. Ooh, okay. So a lot of you are going to be seeing a lot more dreams and messages and signs from your ancestors. Pay attention to the smells you smell, the things you see, the signs you hear, the songs you hear, stuff like that. What comes in, like, you know, people, what they say to you. Things will hit a chord, and it's going to have to do with your ancestral history. So keep that in mind. A lot of you may be learning a lot more about your ancestors, working with them, all that stuff. And a lot of you may be even creating an ancestral altar. So I'm really excited over there for you. And then the last card that came up is make a meal. I feel like Libras love to cook because they find it like an art. And next year, a lot of you, I feel like you're changing up the way you eat, and also you find this newfound passion with food. It could be trying new food, it could be cooking new food, growing your own food. However this passion comes about, there's definitely this passion of food. So get excited for that. I'm very excited for you because Libras love food because you guys are ruled by Venus, and Venus loves everything that indulges your five senses, and one of them is taste. So you're really tapping into that next year, and that's very exciting. I'm going to pull a card of an herb that Libras should be working with next year so that everything of the year goes in your favor, right? Okay, we have a few here. First card that comes up, let's remove these, is the lemon card. Use lemon all of next year to get rid of bitterness in your heart. So Libras like to tip the scale. So it's hard for Libras to forgive because they always want to balance the scale of why they're forgiving and is it worth it, right? So next year, we're getting rid of this bitterness. And if you are on Patreon, you see that this last week of 2021, how that shift happens in the reading we did. But lemon gets rid of so much bitterness. It lifts your spirits, raises the vibration, it cleanses, it purifies, it gets rid of negative energy, and it's just so rejuvenating and fresh and uplifting. So Libras, all next year, work with lemon. I have some videos on my channel where I show how to cleanse with lemons. I think you would love that. But use lemons around your house. You could keep it under your bed for 3 nights, and then on the 3rd night, I want you to take it and throw it away outside your property. You could do that. There's lots of ways you could use lemon. You could spray it all over your house. Lemon perfume, lemon candles. And another thing, that's so funny, you guys. I also asked on Patreon because I did this bay leaf spell of how to lay your pain down and your sadness and all of that stuff. Laying it down for the year. You know, laying it down this year so next year you start fresh. And I was going to upload a video on that on Patreon, and I was talking about it this morning, and then the bay leaf card came up. Very funny. But use bay leaves all of next year. I have so many bay leaf videos on my channel, and Libras, I think it's just going to help you balance and ground yourself. It's also very relaxing to burn inside of your house, also to cook with. There's so many uses of bay leaves. And you're being called to use lemon and bay leaves. Very lucky. And the last card that came up is cinnamon. So use cinnamon to reignite. Libras, because you like to always see all the perspectives, you burn yourself out a lot, and so you need to keep reigniting your energy. Libras, you have to keep making sure that you bring your energy back up when it gets depleted. You know, balance that out too, your energy. So use cinnamon. You could have cinnamon tea, you could burn cinnamon candles, you could keep cinnamon on your altar, near your bed, cinnamon in your perfumes. There's so many ways to use it. But yes, that is going to be your reading, Libras. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you very, very soon.